Hello. Today I just wanted to talk about a concept. I don't know how long this is going to be, but I just want to talk about the differences between when people say something is the best of whatever or, if their favorite or whatever. What I think a lot of people, I could be wrong, but when people say X game or X band or movie or show, whatever it is the best. Now, my question is, what exactly constitutes a game being the best or a movie being the best? Like, is it financial success or just, because some people seem to like to bring that, oh, this whatever made or sold this many copies or this much money at box office, whatever. But that doesn't necessarily make a movie or game, whatever, the best in my opinion. Because sometimes, it's one of those things I just kind of have tried to eject, saying, oh, this is the best. There's only a few instances, honestly, where I say something will be the best. It's generally not in a concept of games or movies or music or whatever. But, we have favorites. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with having favorites. There's also nothing inherently wrong saying something is the best because people like what they like and will be excited about the things they love, and that's awesome. What I'm saying is that people just will say, that's the best. Why? And how? What's the measurement for that? But, yeah, it's one of those things that I've kind of over the years have thought about. Like, my personal favorite Star Wars movie is Return of the Jedi. Now, a lot of people would say that Empire Strikes Back is the best or whatever. That's fine. I'm not gonna say they're wrong because Empire's a great movie. Or it's like, the game series that I love, Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is one of those. I've kind of done a list in my head of what my favorite Kingdom Hearts games are. Birth by Sleep is still my favorite. I just like a lot of stuff about that game. The gameplay, story, all that good stuff. Of course, a lot of people will say Kingdom Hearts 2 is their favorite, or best, or they say it's the best one. And again, I'm not going to dispute that, but, I did recently, within the last year, play through the series again, as I do a lot. But, yeah, it's one of those things. Again, it's, I just kind of want to get people thinking that there's a difference between saying something is the best and something is just inherently their favorite thing. Because there's no real discerning thing saying that this is how you determine what is the best game, book, movie, music, whatever. Because the thing is, people have different tastes, and there's a lot of subjective things when it comes to things like these. So there's not really one discerning way of saying something is the best. Now, people might say, well, something might be my favorite, but I can at least see that something is the best at whatever, but I don't know. That's a little, well, not cheap, but I don't know. But it's, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things to me that, because so many times I see a new big game comes out and people say this is the best, or this is the best game ever, or this is, keeping it to games just because it's simpler that way, but this goes with anything. But like I mentioned, my Star Wars example, but or people say the game is the best because it won blah 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 awards, basically. Now, I understand where people are coming from with that, but again, it's kind of the same thing when people say this whatever sold this many copies or made this much money or whatever. It's kind of the same, almost kind of the same, not quite, but in that same vein, basically. It's kind of, like I said, that's kind of why I stick to just saying, oh, these things are my favorite. It's not really any quote-unquote best. And I think a lot of people would probably when they say something is the best at whatever, they're probably meaning it's their favorite, it's like Game Award things, people get upset that whatever game wasn't nominated or whatever game didn't win or whatever, but it ultimately doesn't matter because it's I don't know, it's because to them their favorite thing didn't win, so it's like these award shows don't really matter because unless, of course, your favorite game won Game of the Year or whatever, that's cool, that's great, but yeah, it's something that like I said, I've been thinking about. Again, I'm not like I will change people's minds and they will think like that. That's not what I just think for me personally, I try my best not to say whatever, that's the best thing ever. That's, but yeah, it's a difficult thing. It's a difficult thing to, my thought is it's a difficult thing to kind of get across because so many people, like I said, so many people have different tastes and so many, they're not gonna, again, it's all a subjective thing. Art in really whatever capacity is like that. But I think that's going to be one thing I will continue to strive to keep doing is not say something is the best. Like, I could say maybe, for me, the best weapon in a game or best whatever. But even then, say I'll use the Kingdom Hearts example. There are better Keyblades stat-wise than the Oblivion Keyblade, but the Oblivion Keyblade has always been my favorite, like, in every game that's in. So, but yeah, that's that's kind of just how I've always looked at things. Because some people might look at, say, the Elder Scrolls series. Skyrim's obviously the most successful, but my favorite is and always probably will be Morrowind. But I'm not saying Morrowind is the best or Morrowind is better than Oblivion or Skyrim or Daggerfall or whatever. I'm just saying Morrowind's my favorite, and will always will be. But there are other people that more like that and like Morrowind a lot, and cool. There's a lot of people that think Oblivion's their favorite, and that's cool. I understand why they'd say it, but I just think Morrowind for me does a little bit more. But I recently talked about Fumito Ueda. I love all three of his games, but they all have three different. All three of them have different aspects I love about them, but I would probably say my favorite is Last Guardian if I had to pick one. But I'm not saying that Last Guardian is the best one because, it's my favorite. But yeah, that's, I don't know, I don't know if I'm quite getting my point or whatever across that well, but yeah, it's something that we'll still see. We'll still see people say X game is best, X movie is best. If you don't think it is best, then that's the other attitude. That's kind of what people set up themselves for, is when they say this is the best, and if people disagree with them, then they have to get defensive about the thing that they think is the best, and how dare you say it's not that great. But that's, I'm just saying if someone says, that one's not, I'll say, I'll use Kingdom Hearts again because it's on my mind. Kingdom Hearts 2, a lot of people's favorites. It's not my favorite. I love Kingdom Hearts 2. I love all the Kingdom Hearts games for different reasons, but I have my issues with Kingdom Hearts 2. It's not perfect. None of the games are perfect. That's another thing. There's no real perfect game, and that's kind of what I've been trying to think of. Like, there's no perfect game, like I said, because you're always gonna find flaws in every game and every movie. You can, some things could be nitpicky, to be fair, but there's no real, like, this is the perfect game, perfect movie, perfect album, book, show, whatever. Shows are a different thing, because you're always going to have episodes that aren't that great. That's just how shows are. But, same for games, same for movies. You're always going to kind of have a lull of quality in certain things, but I don't know. I don't want to keep it on too much longer because I just feel like I'm running out of. But there is a difference, I think, between calling something the best and calling something their favorite, because there is a difference between those two things. But yeah, I guess that's just kind of what I kind of just wanted to talk about. Not a long video, not a long, I don't want to ramble on too long about this, but yeah, so I guess like, comment, subscribe if you want. Yeah, this is for the, basically start the new year off with this topic. And I do, I'm not going to say do this or whatever, but I do say, think about when you call a game or whatever the best. Why do you think it's the best? Or is it just saying, this one's my favorite one, I don't know. But anyway, so thank you everyone for watching, and as always, thank you for being awesome, and until next time.